Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper Offersen and today we are going to look at how you can plump your skin. We are looking at how you can plump your skin with a modified amino acid. It is as such an amino acid we have spoken about before. It is glycine, and when we spoke about it before, it was in the video about collagen and why you should not take all these peptides, but instead you should use leucine. And I said you should use leucine because that is an essential amino acid. That means that you cannot produce it yourself in the body. But glycine, which is also needed in order to produce collagen, your body can produce itself. So it is not essential. The thing is that as we age, things that in our youth is not essential starts to become more and more essential. So the thing is that with the glycine, there is a modified version of it, and that is something called betaine or trimethylglycine. That is something that is produced in your body. It is produced by the mitochondria in your cells, which is popularly called the powerhouse of our body. That is where the energy we use in order to move around and just be is produced. So betaine, why would that plump up your skin? Well, if you go to some of these supplement stores, you might see a bodybuilder or someone that looks like a bodybuilder pick up something like this. This is from a company called Bulk Powders, which I have spoken about before. And this product here is, as you see behind here, it is trimethylglycine. And bodybuilders, they use that because it is something that is called an osmolyte, and that simply means that when the cell takes up betaine, then it also takes up a lot of fluids. So if you have a cell that looks like a raisin and you take betaine, then when it is taken up into the cell, it will start to look like the grape again that it is. So that is maybe a little bit extreme to explain it like that, but the thing is that betaine makes sure that your cells are plumped up. So why would a bodybuilder take something like that? Well, they will do that because they would like their muscles to look as big as possible. So this will really help with doing that. But will it also help your skin as such? Yes, of course it will help your skin as well. And when I looked into betaine, I did it in order to look at collagen again, and to see if there was something that needed to be adjusted in order to not just take lysine, if I maybe should take glycine as well when one is getting a little bit older. So when I looked into glycine or betaine in this case here, then I realized that it had this function as well as an osmolyte. And before I really found out that, I had already started to take this supplement, and I noticed that my skin was much more plump than it usually was. And usually when I take a supplement, I do it for some sort of reason, and then I find out that something else is happening, and then I go in and investigate why could that be. So sometimes when you are buying a product and you already know what it's doing or what it is supposed to do, you get this sort of idea that, oh yes, it does really work, doesn't it? And yes, I really feel it does. And then after a little while you don't really use it anymore, and you don't really see much of a difference. And that could be that you have bought some sort of a product. There are lots of products out there that promise all sort of things. And then you, to begin with, feel that something is going on, but actually nothing is really going on. So in this case here, I was taking this supplement for another reason. And then I realized that something happened to my skin. And then I went in and had a look at why could that be. So I was not colored by any sort of ideas about what this product should do for me. It was something I found out, and then I looked into the science and said, okay, what I have noticed, there are actually some scientific that support what I have felt. So obviously that's a really good thing, and that made me stick with eating this stuff here. So how much betaine do I take? Well, they recommend 2.5 grams a day. So what I have done is that it comes with this small spoon here, and that they say 2/3 of it, that is 2.5 grams. I take 2 of these ones here. That might be a little bit much for you, and I started with just taking 1 scoop, and that worked really well. And then I thought, well, why not take a scoop in the evening and see if it makes any sort of a difference. I don't think it made much of a difference. I think that 1 scoop should be enough in order to see a difference. So I have looked into some scholarly articles, and I will link to them below so you can read them yourself. And in there they had a study where they looked at homocysteine. Homocysteine we have spoken about before, and we really would like to have a homocysteine in our body converted into free cysteine so that we can have glutathione produced. So when you are taking betaine, then it works in a way that you actually get more glutathione down the line by taking betaine, and that is because betaine, it works in this cycle that is called the methionine cycle. So this study here looked at homocysteine, and they realized that if the people that was in the study, they took about 6 grams a day, then after about 24 weeks they saw that homocysteine was lowered by 5 to 20%. So as the homocysteine is an indicator of cardiovascular diseases, then it is really nice to have homocysteine lowered. Now, when I say it is good to have it lowered in relation to cardiovascular diseases, well, then it is not really seen as that homocysteine in itself creates cardiovascular disease. It's more like something else in your body is making these cardiovascular disease, and a telltale of that is that homocysteine is at a much higher level in the body. What you can do is that when you are taking betaine, then the homocysteine will be transformed into methionine, and some of that will again be homocysteine, and then again the circle will go around, but some of that methionine will be used in order to, along the line, produce taurine, which is another amino acid that your body is using, and also glutathione will be produced. So how can your body produce this itself? Well, if you take an amino acid called choline or choline, then your body will produce betaine itself. Now it is so that as we age, the body becomes less and less good at producing betaine, and therefore a supplement like this one here could be a really good idea. So another thing when you're having the methionine cycle is, as I said before, you are having glutathione produced, which is a really good antioxidant, and we have spoken about that one in the video about how you can get your hair color back if it has started to go gray. But another thing, as I just said, is that through the methionine cycle there is also produced taurine. Now taurine, just as betaine, is in an osmolyte as well. So both betaine and taurine, that is supplements you can take, and which I take, and both of them will act in order to plump up your cells. And if your cells are plumped up, your skin will look much more plumped up. That is what I have noticed on my own skin, and I will say that because I for a couple of months did not take taurine because I had not bought it, and now I have it again, so I started taking it again. What it actually means is that when I took betaine, I realized that it plumped up my skin, and at that point I was not taking taurine because I was waiting for new supplies to arrive. And now that they have arrived, I realized that it actually made a difference to my skin, so that my skin is even now more plumped than if I was just using betaine on its own. And when I just used taurine on its own before I started betaine, I did notice that my skin is nice and plump, but I would say it's not in the same way as if I'm taking betaine. So what I'm saying is that if you have to choose one or the other, I would say for plump skin you should go with betaine. both because betaine itself is an osmolyte, and also because in the methionine cycle, then taurine will be produced in your body. So if you have to choose one, I would say betaine, but better take both taurine and betaine. That is what I am doing. And as I said, I am taking about 2 of these scoops here, and that is about 7 grams a day. I take 1 scoop in the morning on my fromage fraise, and I take 1 scoop in water in the evening with my other amino acids. So yes, if you would like to read a little bit more about this sort of stuff, then you can read the articles that I will link to below. So hopefully this is something that will make a difference for your skin, and maybe hopefully make you live much longer, who knows. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all the things you must do in order to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching, see you, bye!